Hello, Ran here, AK Mac, and welcome. So we finally got the reveal of the Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay, and it was pretty damn epic. They did point out that what we saw was a work in progress build, and very much subject to change, but with that said, here are what my first impressions of Cyberpunk 2077 are. Now firstly, it looks incredible, a real decent character creator with a lot of depth to it. The interior environments look pretty awesome as well, the gameplay seems smooth and exciting. The world in which it's all set looks outstanding, with lots of variety and interactions and some great attention to detail. The NPC characters feel and sound robust, and the NPC population look very realistic, and I must say it did feel like I was watching a movie rather than a game. Some things that I liked was that the customization doesn't just stop with the character creator. Your weapons, your cybernetic augmentations, your clothing, your stats. There seems to be a lot of stuff that will keep you entertained as you progress through the story. But with these cybernetic sort of augmented upgrades, I'm not usually a fan of this sort of thing, but they did present it excellently, with the black market illegal upgrades, awesome legal options, plus the mention of military spec upgrades if you wanted to go full whack. That was a nice touch. Now the gameplay that we actually got to see went from sort of fast-paced gunplay to stealth, negotiations, hacking, some ninja parkour, acrobatics, presenting a real array of potential approaches to each mission. This gives the player the choice on how to take each mission, which is definitely a great thing in my book, plus all the customizing and upgrading, adding even more choices to how you can tackle the jobs. The stealthing felt very much like Deus Ex, battling through claustrophobic interiors looked awesome. Hacking into networks like the NPC gang members and shutting down their ability to fire I felt was pretty impressive. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what other options we may get in the hacking area, maybe hacking into building security for example to gain access, but having decisions as well like drawing your weapon or grabbing the opponent's weapon during quick-time events gave a much more interactive and in-control feeling. Making choices as the action unfolds really keeps the player immersed and engaged with what's going on rather than cutscenes just sitting back and bringing your phone up. Now the Night City itself looks beautiful, really impressive environment which just feels vibrant and busy. Lots of details and things to look out for and explore. It feels very dingy like Deus Ex with the sort of dark undertone, but bright and exciting like Grand Theft Auto or Watch Dogs, which I thought was a real nice mixture. The advertising and holographic displays look natural. I do like how they place products in front of you depending on what you have been buying. Some very realistic ideas for what we could be seeing in the future as well, including the small detail like the crime scene reenactment, a really clever touch there, and the really nice hollow tree dropping leaves, which was just very pretty to see. Kind of a mixture of beauty and violence, giving both a sense of serenity but keeping you always on edge, like you're never really able to enjoy it for too long without getting into trouble. It also mentions something about them establishing a thick lore and backstory, so it feels more like 60 odd years have passed, rather than it's just gone. Now some of the main characters we got to see, like Jackie, your partner, seems like a pretty cool heavy-set tank kind of guy, nicely complementing V's sleek, slender parkour method. Got a cool Hispanic vibe to him as well, and I do like his gold handguns. I'm not sure if you get maybe a female partner for choosing to play as the male avatar, but the Ripper Doc guy, the guy that you meet who upgrades you, is pretty cool. Well presented, and looks like there'll be even more cybernetic options which you'll need to explore and maybe unlock as time goes on. Lots of future upgrading and potential options for customizing further. Now Dex, the first mission giver you got to see, requesting you to get the spider drone, had a cool car and again some nice gold cybernetic arms. I wonder if this is showing the potential of a kind of ladder to climb when it comes to obtaining missions from the crime scenes. The agent person, she felt a bit untrustworthy and slimy, but if you wanted that extra optional in to obtain the spider drone, it was kind of necessary, and it's nice to give you that option of playing through that kind of gameplay if you wanted to, but you didn't have to. The Maelstrom gang though, that was what really sold it to me, was they're very intimidating. I love the multiple eye torch aesthetic, and that guy with the missing jaw, really cool, very spider-like, all of them heavily augmented, and I actually felt anxious for V and Jackie as they were having that meeting. It just felt a bit uneasy there. But if that's just a snippet of the gangs and the NPCs and AI that we get to see walking around and interacting with, I'm quite excited to see more. Now some of my best bits were seeing the various weapon abilities, like punching through cover or firing around a corner, or even that ricocheting Robocop bullets. The modification system for weapons, your body, hacking, pretty much everything was very exciting, and I'm glad they've got that in. The apartment, one of my favourite pieces. Getting the clothing, which gives you street cred. Being able to fill up your armory as you collect new weapons, and not to mention how cool that music was playing in the background. I actually looked that up on Spotify and on Google. I couldn't find it anywhere. Destructible environments, again, giving you a different direction to attack from. And that TT Trauma Team, that Quick Response Medical Insurance Squad. I love that. I just want to be able to play as those guys. Such a subtle but nice detail. Now, some of the bits that I didn't like, the NPC population seemed to have these archetypes above the head. I don't like that. It seemed a bit too obvious. If they just use the clothes to tell you what kind of people they are, that should be enough. Also, as you land gunshots, one of my pet peeves in games is seeing that damage calculator. I've never been a fan of that. It just covers the target too much. But from what I understand, there is an option that you can actually turn that off, which is nice. Now, the gunplay, although it looks cool, it was a little arcadey, quite sort of fancy jumping around, and for my tiny brain it makes it all too fast paced. It is nice to have the option to slow it down and maybe stealth through, but to be honest, the fast paced action did seem pretty intuitive, so I won't judge it just yet. I'll wait until I've maybe had a go with it. The drug boosts, never been a fan of these things because I always forget I have them, but it is an interesting way to implement them with these temporary abilities. The UI, although to a minimum, which was nice. I would like to have the ability to turn off the UI completely for full immersion. I do like doing that in games. More of a personal thing. And also the first person option. Now, this is kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. Personally, it suits me. I like the first person, but I can imagine due to the previous Witcher games, many people were expecting a third person option, and not having that won't really damage it, but I'm sure it's kind of annoyed a few people. Now, personally, I am loving the look of Cyberpunk. I'm very excited to get my hands on it. I feel it will be one of those games that will just suck you in for hours of real life time, passing you by without even noticing, and I cannot wait to see more gameplay or more information on it. Also, I did hear that they are working on some form of multiplayer, maybe co-op variation of the game or with additions to it. If this is true, it is probably going to be quite exciting to see that, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, be sure to let me know what you think of Cyberpunk 2077. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you did, please. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.